Should be a really good fight, to be honest. Both really good head kickers. Johansson showing that by scoring the one head kick and taking the win. Baryshnikova, last few seconds, scoring a headshot herself. Should be really good to watch.
Well, as the music kicks into action here in Manchester, so do we again. Back to the finals of the World Taekwondo Grand Prix here in Manchester. It's the under 67 kilograms. Expect it to be quick, expect it to be full of action. Johansson, Baryshnikova will be making their way out in just a couple of seconds. There you see Johansson dispatched Farida Azizova in the semi-finals, and we talked about that, Ruben. Mentally for her, Johansson has got rid of a component, or an opponent, should I say, that she'd never beaten before in competitive action. She was 2 down against Azizova, got rid of that one, on to the next.
Yeah, definitely dealt with it in such a brilliant fashion, just scoring the one headshot in the first round, then just staying in control for the rest of the fight. Did really well, showed great composure, and it almost looked like those previous fights had never happened.
Well, she's all smiles here. Nice evening out for the youngsters that are accompanying the athletes. Were you ever one of those? Obviously, you've built your way up as a youngster. I heard you say you started around the age of 4. Were you ever one of these people that led out an athlete?
No, I'd never quite.
It's time for you, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, should have thought of that actually. Could have hopped along on my crutches.
So Johansson has to try and get past the wonderful Russian Anastasia Baryshnikova, the 23-year-old, bronze at the Olympics in the over 67 category. And we talked about this earlier. She made a change down to under 67, and within the year, she's European champion. That shows a bit of quality.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, cutting weight is hard, as anyone can tell. But obviously, she's taken experience from being at a bigger weight. Maybe she's got a lot more strength from being a bigger size. She's come down, obviously held on to some of that muscle that she had being a higher weight, and she's made the most of that, obviously.
Referee for this one is Egypt's Ahmed Al Mofti. And he is ready, as you can tell by the fingers. Final of the under 67 kilograms for the ladies. ELIN Johansson of Sweden against Anastasia Baryshnikova. Sweden in the blue, Russia in the red. European champion against bronze medalist, the 2012 European Championships, bronze medalist, the 2008 European Championships as well. Well, Johansson and Baryshnikova get underway. No early points to report back here.
Again, quite cagey to start with. Both of them using their front legs. Let's try and control the fight. Neither of them really grabbing control yet. Ooh. Both of them using those almost signature headshots that they've been using throughout these finals. Neither of them quite connecting.
Well, Johansson beat Baryshnikova in the semi-finals here last year.
First points there to Baryshnikova, I'm not sure. Oh, it's tied it up.
And Johansson, one apiece now, is the defending champion here. She won the World Grand Prix final, and there's a lot of points in terms of qualification towards Rio on offer here last year when it was the actual final. The final this year in 2004 being held in Mexico, and the guys qualifying for that will be desperate to get those big qualifying points towards Rio, and that was a big help. And we saw a few Brit competitors last year taking some really hefty point totals, and they were happy with those. Johansson was one of those victors last year in the final. She'll be looking to hold on to that crown. But she clearly likes Manchester because she's back in a final here.
Yeah, it's very tight. Neither of them really taking control yet. JOHANSSON
just coming up to the final few seconds of this first round. One apiece here as our official will bring to an end the round number 1. Apologies for the loss of the scoreboard here. 1-1, that's about fair, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Neither of them really committing to too much. Both good points scored, but no one really taking the full control of the match yet. Quite cagey still.
Well, the crowd being whipped into a frenzy. The action hasn't quite managed that so far here in this one.
Yeah, I think there's one point here where you've just seen both of them going for the headshots that they both scored in their semi-finals. Neither of them quite connecting. I think we could definitely see one of those scoring later on.
I was going to say, I don't think that's the last of those particular attempts that we're going to see, is it?
Yeah, without a doubt. They seem really comfortable doing those, and it's something they're really confident in using to find their points. And if they find one of those, it really opens the game up. They'll have a nice 3-point gap.
Really noisy in here. Can't always hear yourself think. And we can bring back the scoring system at the top left-hand side of your screen. Apologies for the loss of that a couple of moments ago. Here we're into the second round, of course. BARYSHNIKOVA against JOHANSSON.
Open up a little bit more at the start of this round. Neither of them really hiding behind the front legs so much. Both starting to use the back leg a bit more just to get into combinations.
Apologies for earlier. Of course, the Russian fighter in the blue. JOHANSSON it is who's in the red. That hasn't affected who's leading.
Yeah.
So, BARYSHNIKOVA just trying to be the more aggressive, and then JOHANSSON fighting back.
Yeah, JOHANSSON's doing well, just starting to take control of the middle of the ring now. Putting BARYSHNIKOVA on the back foot. Be interesting to see how she responds to that.
Bit of a chop kick from BARYSHNIKOVA. She's picked herself up a Kyongo along the way. How much will that feature later on? Oh, we may as well even it off then. So JOHANSSON picks herself one up as well. So now all of a sudden your own mistakes might be your own worst enemy as well.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be, so if those stay on towards the end of the fight, it'll be something that'll stay in the back of their mind. Knowing you can't fall over, knowing you can't go out of the ring.
Just jabbing a foot into the side of BARYSHNIKOVA there was JOHANSSON, and BARYSHNIKOVA had to work hard to maintain her balance. As we talked about, those rule changes mean that you hit the deck, whether it's your own fault or not, and you get yourself a Kyongo, and at this point, they've got one each.
Yeah.
Hitting the deck under your own steam will not be something you want to do.
No, exactly, without a doubt. That would just swing things, obviously, to your opponent's favour. And at this stage of the competition, that's exactly what you don't want going into the last round.
So they're in the blue. Whilst the cameraman behind her doesn't look too excited, we are 1-1 in this final, the World Taekwondo Grand Prix in Manchester, going into the third and final round. Seen a few golden point rounds throughout the course of this competition so far. And that was where BARYSHNIKOVA received her Kyongo. To win this now, one of them's got to try and keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it. The 1 point you feel might be enough.
Yeah, I think so. I think whoever takes the lead here will be in very strong position because it's been so cagey. It's going to be hard to change the pace.
Referee Mofti just splitting them up. A sound inside this Manchester Central. Made it sound like something connected, but nothing given. A minute and a half remaining here. Again, Baryshnikova just stretches out that right foot. Seems to have a slight limp at times, Baryshnikova.
Yeah, it's been a long day of competition for her. Obviously had quite a lot of fights. Just got to dig deep now for the last minute and 15.
European champion.
Johansson just sneaking. Oh, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, Baryshnikova shows her Olympic credentials and her European Championship standard. Just that right foot beautifully to the right-hand side of Johansson's face. And then Johansson fighting back as well. Unable to connect. Baryshnikova just able to edge herself away.
Yeah, and that's going to be very tough. You see Baryshnikova will just make the distance just a little bit longer now. She'll look to, there we go, she gets Kyongo for that. She'll look to clash when Johansson comes in. She may get a few Kyongos, but having a 2-point gap, she thinks she can afford to maybe give one away.
She's got some breathing space here. Baryshnikova is what we're saying, but Johansson has shown all the way through the rounds here in Manchester, and she's of course a winner here in this very arena in the Grand Prix last year. Can she do it again? Just around about 20 seconds remaining of round 3 of this World Taekwondo Grand Prix final. Series 3 this one. Oh, and another big
very
effort.
Unfortunate. That must have been so close.
Johansson needs a big last 10 seconds here. 2 points at minimum. Trying to raise the foot up to reach the head guard of Baryshnikova. Anastasia hanging on here. Another high effort. Another Kyongo going against Baryshnikova. She won't care because she's picked up another point as well. It's 5-2 and a victory for the Russian Anastasia Baryshnikova here in Manchester. Stepping down a weight since the Olympic Games. She's won the European Championships and now she's a winner here as well. Ruben, another very special athlete to keep an eye on and still fairly young, just 23.
Yeah, definitely. Again, you saw how important headshots are there. So that one headshot really opened up the gap of what was a very cagey affair. It was tied at 1-1. That one headshot, again, another chop kick. It was brilliant timing on it. Johansson kept closing and Baryshnikova took full advantage of that with going the chop kick, taking 3 points and taking a 3-point lead as well. From there, she just controlled it really well, made the gap a little bit longer, and it was too hard for Johansson to try and score any more points.
So maybe not as quick and as explosive as we were hoping for an under 67 kilograms final, but it certainly was tactical. And that lady there just couldn't find her way past Anastasia Baryshnikova. The European champion continues to have a very good 2014. In a couple of moments we'll be going to our medal presentation, maybe in a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
So you see the highlights here of Anastasia Baryshnikova. And as Ruben was saying during commentary, that the game changer was the shot to the side of Johansson's head with that right foot, wonderfully placed. And again, wasn't the most physical of contact, but it was in exactly the right place.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant timing, really well placed, and again rewarded with 3 points for that.
Close range fist, but there you see that foot. She'd gone in close for the singular punch to the chest, and Johansson didn't keep the defence high enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the risk you run when you go for a punch. If your opponent's ready for it, if your opponent's expecting it, it's very easy to score a chop kick, because once you've committed to lunging your body forward to score the punch, there's no way you can change direction, and you're at your opponent's mercy.
A few flurry of kyongos and points towards the end of it, but